Who actually controls the world's money? What if I told you the most powerful people in the world aren't presidents, aren't billionaires, and aren't even elected? What if the real power lies in the hands of institutions most people don't fully understand? Because money is power, and whoever controls money controls the world. So the question is, who actually controls the world's money? Most people think governments control money. After all, governments print currency, government collects taxes, government spend trillions. But here is the twist. Governments spend money, they don't control the system that creates it. That power belongs to someone else. Central banks. Central banks, the real power centers. Every major country has one. The Federal Reserve, USA, the European Central Bank, EU, the Bank of England, the Bank of Japan, the People's Bank of China. These institutions control interest rates, money supply, inflation, banking stability, and when they make a decision, markets move, currencies rise, countries shake. When the US Federal Reserve raises interest rates, borrowing becomes expensive worldwide, stock markets fall, developing countries suffer, debt crises begin. One announcement can change the fate of millions. And here is the key. Most central banks operate independently from
Inflation is
elected
climbing faster than
governments.
projections.
Let that
We need to
sink
consider
in.
tightening. But unemployment is a
The
concern.
dollar empire.
Inflation is
Now
climbing
let's zoom
faster than
out.
projections. Agreed. We need to
Because
consider
one
tightening.
currency
But unemployment
dominates
is a
them
concern.
all, the US
Inflation
dollar.
is climbing faster than
Around
projections.
60%
Agreed.
of
We
global
need to consider
reserves
tightening. But
are held
unemployment
in
is a
dollars.
concern.
Most global trade is settled in dollars. Oil price in dollars. International debt in dollars. This gives the US states enormous financial influence. If the US cuts a country off from the dollar system, that country is economically isolated. We've seen this happen. Sanctions aren't just political tools. They are financial weapons and the backbone of this system. SWIFT, the global financial messaging network, control the dollar, control the pipes, control global trade. Are banks the real controllers? But central banks don't act alone. Private banks play a massive role. Commercial banks create money every single day. How? Through lending. When you take a loan, the bank doesn't hand you existing money. It creates new money digitally. Roughly 90% of money in modern economies are created by private banks through loans. See, now we have
These are the pillars of the
central
global
banks
economy,
controlling
institutions of
liquidity,
immense power
commercial
and
banks
stability.
creating money,
These are the
governments
pillars of the
borrowing
global
endlessly.
economy, institutions
It's
of immense power
a
and
triangle
stability.
of power.
These are
The
the pillars
global
of the global
financial
economy,
elites.
institutions of
This is
immense
where
power and
conspiracy
stability.
theories begin.
These are the pillars of the
Names
global
like
economy, institutions of
the
immense power and
Rothschilds,
stability.
the IMF, the World Bank, the BIS, Bank for International Settlements. The BIS, located in Switzerland, is sometimes called the Central Bank of Central Banks. It coordinates global monetary policy. It sets banking standards. It hosts private meetings for top financial leaders. But here is the reality. These institutions don't secretly rule the world. They coordinate it. The system isn't controlled by one mastermind. It's controlled by a network of central banks, bankers, financial institutions, governments, global trade system. Not a single villain, but a structure, a debt machine. Here is the uncomfortable truth. The global financial system runs on debt. Governments borrow, corporations borrow, people borrow. Debt fuels growth, but it also creates dependency. The more debt a country has, the more it depends on low interest rates, which means central banks hold enormous indirect power over governments. Raise rates too high, recession, bankruptcies, and unemployment. Keep rates too low, inflation, currency collapse, asset bubbles. They are constantly balancing disaster. The rise of new challengers. But something is changing. China is pushing for yuan-based trade. BRICS nations are discussing alternatives to the dollar. Central bank digital currencies are emerging. Bitcoin exists outside the traditional system. For the first time in decades, the dollar's dominance is being questioned. If digital currencies issued by central banks become standard, governments could gain unprecedented financial surveillance power. Imagine programmable money that can expire, money that can be restricted. The future of financial control may look very different. So, who really controls it? So let's answer the question. Who actually controls the world's money? Not one person, not one family, not one country. It's layered system. Central banks control money policy. Commercial banks create most money through lending. The US dollar dominates global trade. International institutions coordinate stability. Governments depend on the system to survive. It's not about secret rulers. It's about structural power, and the structure favors stability over democracy, debt over savings, growth over equality. The real takeaway. Here is the final truth. Money is not just currency, it's trust. The entire global system works because people believe in it. The moment trust collapses, the system collapses. And that is why central banks don't just control money, they protect confidence. Because in the end, the world isn't controlled by cash, it's controlled by belief. And belief is the most powerful currency of all.